State regime media, which calls itself Fox News, was collapsing on air. The polling that they have on Donald Trump shows absolute disaster in the midterms, and it shows Donald Trump with the lowest approval in presidential history. Donald Trump is despised by all Americans right now, and it's getting worse for him each day. So let me share with you how Fox tries to cover this up for Donald Trump, and it is the height of insanity, folks. First, they put out Laura Ingraham, who goes, "I know the numbers are bad, but we've heard doom and gloom before. Can we talk about some other topics?" Watch what Laura Ingraham says first. Play this clip.
He's done it. He's done it this time. He's finished. He's on the ropes. The polls are turning against him. All right. We've seen this all before.
Then they bring on a segment of someone named Caroline Sunshine, and then she and Jesse Waters start to talk about Sydney Sweeney's chest. Here, play this clip.
Also, look, Sydney Sweeney, she's hot, okay? And for all the men watching, I know what you're thinking. Everybody sees it. It is okay to say it. Sydney Sweeney has huge potential to make millions of dollars off of this very smart strategy to not alienate half the country either way by being vocal about her political beliefs.
Yeah, that's how they're going to distract their audience. Look the other way. Let's not talk about, I don't know, the news, the fact that Donald Trump is rounding up journalists, that you have Border Patrol and mass Gestapo and the ICE killing and terrorizing people across this country, that you have the economy doing awful right now. Inflation is surging. Fox has more important things they want to tell its audience right now, like Sydney Sweeney reminds us of Melania Trump. Here, play this clip.
No, she is not going to play that game. She reminds me so much of Melania Trump, who's just the most unbothered first lady I've ever met. And
so then Sean Hannity challenges Democratic Congress member Seth Moulton. You've seen him here on the MeidasTouch network many times. And Moulton was destroying Hannity because Hannity figured, you know what, let me get Moulton here and I'm going to take him on. He didn't know who he was dealing with. So as Moulton, who is a Marine veteran, he starts destroying Hannity. So then on the Hannity show, they just start playing music as Moulton is destroying Hannity to try to cover up what Moulton is saying. Here, watch this.
With the ICE
officers, this is the last thing I'm going to say to you, and then I have to run. Listen, the problem is their job is hard enough. They're arresting the worst of the worst, even in your state, making your state more secure.
For not following the law. They should be professionals like we were in Iraq.
I'm all for getting bad apples.
A little bit tougher than that.
The problem is what you're doing is
And I kid you not, throughout the entire segment, once it was clear that Sean Hannity, one of Fox's top propagandists, was on the rope, and Moulton was just laying into him and ripping him to shreds and putting the dagger in, state regime media kept on blasting this music. Watch this again.
It's an election issue.
As somebody that did put himself in harm's way, I would think you might have a little more insight than you're showing here. In other words, don't you think the 99% of soldiers that you fought with were good people that were risking their lives for a cause that their government believed in, right or wrong? Don't you think the 99% of ICE agents that are arresting the worst of the worst that Joe Biden allowed into the country, don't you think they deserve better than a broad sweeping generalization from an elected official like you, calling them a coward that should be prosecuted and that their job should be eliminated? Why don't you just say, I meant the bad apples, Sean. You're right. Why don't you just say that?
Hey, Sean,
I'll give you one last chance.
Hey, Sean, I didn't serve with soldiers. I served with Marines. And yes,
Semper Fi.
They were really great Marines. And you know what? They would never behave like so many of these ICE officers.
You don't think there's a bad apple here or there?
In Minneapolis.
There's not a bad apple?
18-year-old private who did what those officers did to Alex Preddy or Renee Good, they'd be court-martialed. And that's what should happen with the ICE officers.
This is the last thing I'm going to say to you, and then I have to run.
And then they keep on doing it. Sean Hannity's like, you're the one who's inciting Moulton. You're the one who's inciting. And then before you saw Hannity was like, Semper Fi, Semper Fi. Sean, what are you talking about? You never served. What are you trying? Are you trying to cosplay right here? And then watch Seth Moulton, make a perfect point. He's like, so Are you saying, Sean, that you blame the protesters in Iran for the fact that the regime is killing them? Is that what you're saying? Here, play this clip right here.
Problem is, what you're doing is you're inciting. What you are doing is speaking with broad generalization.
No.
What you are doing is dehumanizing, and it is inciting a mob, and you need to, as a leader, de-escalate, not escalate.
You're siding with the regime in Iran, blaming the protesters for the fact that thousands of them.
I'm not blaming the protesters in Iran. I think they're brave. No, I think they're brave, and help is on the way.
The protesters in Minneapolis are brave too. I think they're
what about the ones that are attacking officers and doxing them?
Kicking a tail light
they're not all good people.
Kicking a tail light is attacking an officer? Guess what?
Yeah, the officers have been attacked left and right.
You might be a great taillight protector. I don't think you should be executed for kicking a taillight, Sean. I'm sorry.
8,000% increase. You got to look at the stats. They're real. It's very hard what's happening, and you're causing it.
You know what's also real?
Your irresponsible rhetoric is contributing to it.
Getting murdered, it's pretty real.
I got to take a break.
That's pretty real. And I think people should look at that and see what happened.
Well, let's see what the court system says.
Officers should be prosecuted. I think that's a fair question.
We'll see. You know what? I still have questions about that video. I want to get to the bottom of it just as much as you do. And I think time will tell.
I'm glad the president has backtracked and actually started.
I think you should apologize.
Oh, no.
Okay, that pop you just heard, that's the Shirley Temple Olipop. And yes, I'm holding the can right now so you could see it. So look, if you grew up loving soda but eventually realized traditional soda is basically all sugar and vibes, Olipop is the upgrade. It's a new kind of soda that still tastes like the classics you remember, but it's made with a functional ingredient blend that supports digestive health with high fiber and low sugar. And this one right here, the limited edition Shirley Temple, is honestly next level. It tastes like the original mocktail you remember, but brighter, bolder, and made with real ingredients you can actually feel good about. And the timing is perfect because this is the original mocktail released just in time for dry January, back when not drinking was still fun. It's a flavor that everyone could feel good about. Same nostalgic taste, way better ingredients, and it supports digestive health without all the junk you get from traditional cola. Now here's the deal. Get a free can of Olipop. Buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store, and they will pay you back for one. Works on any flavor at any retailer. Just go to drinkolipop.com/Meidas. You can find Olipop online at drinkolipop.com and Amazon, and in the soda aisle or chilled section at thousands of stores nationwide, including Walmart and Target. I'm telling you, start with the Shirley Temple. You'll get it the second you crack the can.
And State Regime Media brings back this Caroline Sunshine. This segment is like the wackiest thing I've ever seen. Caroline Sunshine goes, liberal women don't buy lingerie because they hate men. Is there actually an audience for this stuff? I mean, do, I don't know, men or other people who watch Fox who watch this, who are getting pillaged by the Trump regime, who are, can't afford homes and can't afford rent, and they're having their health care ripped away. They get mesmerized by this. It's like, just show Sydney Sweeney in low-cut outfits and bring in Caroline Sunshine to talk about lingerie. Here, play this clip.
She's so smart, Jesse. And she just launched this lingerie brand, and it's already sold out. And at first I thought, okay, she's being smart and following the Michael Jordan principle, which is Republicans and Democrats buy sneakers too. But then I thought liberal women don't buy lingerie because they hate men and they would rather burn their bra than wear them.
All right, back to Hannity. He then brings in Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham was on the Senate floor threatening to basically shut down the government and unless he's able to sue special counsel Jack Smith and the government for subpoenaing phone records that had his phone number on it during the January 6th insurrection because he was speaking to Donald Trump during the insurrection. And anyway, Lindsey Graham is like slurring his words on Hannity. You can judge for yourself. Play this clip.
I want sanctuary city policy to end.
And then it wouldn't be a Fox full-fledged collapse mode if Jesse Waters and his guest, in this case Caroline Sunshine, were not whining about Obama, Michelle Obama. Play this clip.
And I love seeing our first lady rather than I saw a clip the other day of Michelle Obama on a podcast complaining about how hard it is to be a black woman. And I thought, wasn't Michelle Obama first lady like a decade ago? And also her husband was elected twice to be president of this country and he's a black man. So I'm sorry, why are we talking about this? I don't know if you saw that clip too of the GQ reporter that tried to corner Sydney Sweeney over her ad. She goes, you know, she's so smug and condescending. I just want to give you a chance to, you know, maybe like apologize. And Sydney just goes, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't have anything to apologize for. That's exactly how you handle these people, Jesse.
Did you know earlier in the day, state regime media known as Fox brought in Kelly Loeffler. Kelly Loeffler, we used to call her Looting Loeffler. She's a billionaire or married into billionaires, married a billionaire. She's a billionaire. She is the Small Business Association head, and she accuses the Biden administration for discriminating against white people. She goes, her big concern as the head of the Small Business Association is we got to stop the white people discrimination against white people, she says. Here, play this clip.
Certain programs had never been audited, like the 8A socially and economically disadvantaged program that discriminated against white business owners in their entirety for 50 years. So we set out to do a 15-year look-back audit. We suspended 1,000 people who didn't participate in the submission of financial forms. And then up in Minnesota, obviously, we were all horrified when it was revealed how much fraud in the Somali network was going on. We went back during PPP. We'd seen $430 million of fraud. Thousands of borrowers had defrauded the federal government during that time, stealing funds from small businesses. So we're going to go state by state and looking back because the Biden administration kicked all that waste, fraud, and abuse under the rug, and we're going after it in multiple programs.
Unbelievable.
Then Fox wants to let everybody know, look, the economy is doing really bad right now, but you know, it's kind of like with demolishing your home. If you want to make your home better, you've got to demolish it. So year one was Trump demolishing everything. And then he's like a builder. He's going to rebuild. Here's the thing, though, state regime media known as Fox. Donald Trump said he was going to make everything better on day one. Let's be clear. And number two, Americans can't even relate to what you're talking about because Americans can't afford their rent, yet alone afford a home. Here, play this clip.
Sometimes when you renovate a house, you got to make it worse before you make it better. You're going to put a lot of things at play, right? There's going to be a lot of sheetrock laying around. There's going to be nails in the floor.
Demolition.
Right, because you got to demolish some things. I think part of what he's doing is he's doing so much all at once. The first year felt like a lot of demolition. We'll see if 2026 feels like, you know, maybe the new sheetrock going up, the first coat of paint. People like to see that. Let's go.
Okay. This is where Laura Ingraham had to announce live that Donald Trump was suing the IRS because Donald Trump wants the taxpayers to pay him $10 billion because Trump says his reputation was harmed and it caused him emotional distress when his taxes were leaked like 10 years ago. And so now he's suing the government, where he's the executive branch. He's suing the Treasury Department, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who's a Trump bootlicker who runs the Treasury Department the IRS is under, going to force we, the taxpayers, to pay Trump $10 to $50 billion. Are you kidding me right now? Play this clip.
The Fox News alert, President Trump is suing the IRS now for $10 billion for allegedly leaking his tax returns. And moments ago on the red carpet for the premiere of Melania's new movie, he dropped this bombshell.
Dave, will you be announcing your Fed chair pick next week?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. And do you know who you picked?
Tomorrow I do. Otherwise, I'll have to go to work very quickly. No, I'll be announcing the Fed chair tomorrow morning.
Wow, more on all.
And then Fox brings in a guest by the name of Peter Schiff, who says everything's collapsing. This is how it ends. Here, play this clip.
And the world is now pulling the rug out from under the U.S. The dollar is going to collapse. The dollar is going to be replaced by gold. Central banks are buying gold to back up their currencies. They're getting rid of dollars. They're getting rid of treasuries. We are headed for a economic crisis, again, that will make the 2008 financial crisis look like a Sunday school picnic. The biggest difference between the crisis that we're about to have and the one we had back then is this one is all in America. It's not going to be exported to the rest of the world. It's not a global financial crisis. It's an American financial crisis.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. That's what's going on. And Fox, as I said, they're literally saying everything's collapsing. Hit subscribe, help us get to 6 million, and thanks so much for watching. The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA Union made.